What's going on, guys? This is Jake, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can customize your checkout in your Shopify store, and we're going to break it into two parts. The first is going to be the customization that you can do through Shopify by default through the settings, and then the next level of customization I'm going to show you is going to be a bit more advanced. So if you need to do things such as hiding payment methods, changing shipping methods, blocking checkout for certain customers, etc. I'll show you how you can do that as well, but that's going to require the use of an app. So let's go ahead and get started with the first part of the video with what you can change within the Shopify settings. So we're going to come down here to settings in our dashboard, and then we're going to go to checkout. And then the first thing we can look at here is the configurations. So this is going to let us change some of the appearance. So if I were to click on customize here, we can see that it's going to bring up a preview of our checkout, and we can see that we can add in specific things right here. So we could go ahead and add in a logo to our checkout right here if we wanted to. So if I wanted to add in an image that's already in our store, I could do that. We can see now the logo is showing up here. We can change the logo width to whatever size that we'd like, and we can change our logo alignment right here as well as the position. We can also add in a background image. So if I were to just add in a random image here just to show you what it would look like, we can see that this background image will show up here, and we could also remove this image if we don't actually want to use that. And then we have the background for the checkout form, so that will show up right here. So we can either add an image or change the color. So just to show you what it looks like, I'll change the color, and we can see that this will change the checkout as well as this top bit to the color we select here. So you can choose any color you want or add an image in. And then we have background 2. So this is going to be this side over here. So we can see right now by default it is this gray, but if I were to change it to red, we can see that it changes this side right here. So if you want to change your checkout to specific colors to match your branding, and you have a specific look you want to go for, then this is how you can change those colors here. A lot of stores choose to keep most of the backgrounds and everything pretty basic. The most common thing to do is just to add in your logo, and then to change the colors of the accents and the buttons here. So in this case, we have the accent color, which is going to be the color of like these check boxes and stuff right here. So if I were to change that, we can see that that changes to this red. So in this case, what you're going to want to do is pretty much just choose the accent and the button colors that you're already using throughout your store. So if you already have green buttons in your store, then you just want to make this button match the buttons from the rest of your store for the sake of consistency. And then keeping the error messages as red is pretty standard. You can choose to make the form field backgrounds be transparent or white, and then you can choose your typography here. So by default, it's just going to be the default, which is going to match what you've selected at your store, but you can also choose to change it to any of these fonts right here for the headings and for the body. And then lastly, you have the checkout layout. So by default, it's going to be one page. So this means that the payment information, the shipping information, and contact information is all going to appear in one page, and then they just enter everything and then pay. Or you can go to the 3-page checkout, which is going to split the checkout into 3 separate pages, meaning customers will enter their payment method and their shipping method and check out on 3 separate pages. So once you're done with editing your checkout, you can just come up here and click save to save your configuration, and then we can go back to settings, and this is where we can edit some of our other checkout settings here. So we can choose the customer contact method. So this is going to be the method that customers enter a checkout. So you can choose to have them enter a phone number or email, or if you only want email, you can choose just to have email. You can choose whether or not you want to show the track their order with shop link right here. And then you can also choose whether or not you want to require customers to log into their account before checkout. So if you have a store where you want customers to have to be logged in before they can check out, then you would just check this right here. Now we can choose which information is going to show up in the customer information form on the checkout. So you can see that you can require only last name or require first and last name. Requiring first and last is a bit more common. You can choose whether or not you want to include the company name. So if you are not selling B2B, then you probably don't need to include this. But if you are selling to companies, then you can make this optional here. And then address line 2 can be optional as well, which is pretty standard. And then the shipping address phone number is something that is normally not included, but you can also choose to show that here. And then we have marketing options. We can see that we can let customers sign up for email or SMS marketing. So if you are using email and SMS, you can check both of these right here. And normally you're going to have to go through some additional setup here to enable this and set this up within whatever SMS app you're using. And then you can choose whether or not you want the email option to be pre-selected. So this means that when the customer goes to checkout, they will automatically be opted into email marketing, and they will actually have to manually deselect this to opt out. So this is going to be up to personal preference. And if you want to accept tips in your store, you can choose to show the tipping options right here. And then you have the address preferences. So you can choose to use the shipping address as the billing address by default. And this is typically going to stay checked because this is going to be user friendly for the majority of customers. And then you can choose to validate the shipping address as well, which is going to help with getting incorrect addresses with your orders. Then you have abandoned checkout emails. So this is going to be set up through Shopify's email system. If you're using another email marketing app like Klaviyo or something else, then you probably won't need to use these because you'll be sending those emails out through your own email marketing platform. And then lastly, you can choose what your checkout language is right here. So that's everything that you can do for customizing your checkout within the basic Shopify settings. However, there's a lot more that you can do. So you can see there's a section here called checkout rules. And this is where you're actually going to need an app to help you out to set up the customization. So first I'm going to go ahead and save these changes. And then I'm going to show you how you can use an app to set up additional checkout rules to further customize your checkout. So the app we're going to be using is Easy Checkout Controller. And this app is going to allow you to customize your payment methods, your shipping methods, and to set up specific order validations all inside of your checkout. So if we come back over here, I'm going to open up the app and show you how it works. So we can see that there's 3 different rule types, and depending on how you need to customize your checkout, it's going to depend on which rule you want to select. So delivery rules are going to allow you to apply specific rules to your shipping methods. So let's say you wanted to hide specific shipping methods, or maybe rename them, or you can reorder them. This is what you would do here. And then the same thing applies to payment methods. And then the validation rules are a little bit different. So this is going to allow you to apply rules for which customers can check out. So let's say you wanted to block checkout for specific customers from a certain location, you could do that here. Or let's say you wanted to block checkout for customers spending under a certain amount, so you wanted to set up a minimum order requirement, you could also do that here as well. So I'll go through an example of each one of these to show you how to do it. So we'll start with delivery, and I'll open up the online store as well so we can take a look. So first off, we're going to click on create rule, and you can see there's going to be 3 different rule types for delivery. So we have hide, we have rename, we have rearrange. So this means we can either hide specific shipping methods, we can rename them, or we can rearrange them. So in this case, I'm just going to choose rearrange. I'm going to click select, and I'm just going to name it rearrange shipping. And then here you can choose when you want this rule to actually be active. So there's a bunch of different conditions that you can choose from inside of the app. So by default, it's going to be always, which means this rule is always going to take effect. But you can also choose from all of these different conditions. So if it's a new customer, if a customer has a specific tag, if there's a specific item in the cart, if the order is above or below a certain amount, etc., or if the shipping address meets any of these requirements. In this case, I'm going to leave it as basic as possible for this first example. So we're just going to have it activate always. And then we're going to rearrange the shipping methods by price. And then we're going to sort them by high to low. So before we actually save this, I'm going to go over to the store and we're going to take a look at what this looks like by default. So we can see here by default that once we enter a shipping address here, that our shipping methods are showing up right here. So we have 2 shipping methods showing up. Now, if I were to save this rule, this is going to rearrange the shipping method. So it's going to show the most expensive rates up top, and then it's going to sort descending. So that means once this is activated, these will be reversed. So if I click save, and we go back, we can see that this rule is now active. And if I go back to the store, and then we go back to the checkout once again, we can see that now these shipping rates are reversed and the more expensive method is showing. So this is a very basic example of what you can set up, but you can see there's a bunch of different things that you can do to customize your delivery methods here. You could change the name of them. You could hide specific delivery methods depending on a bunch of scenarios. So let's say you wanted to hide specific delivery methods for specific addresses, you could do that. Or if you wanted to block shipping to PO box addresses, which is pretty common, you could set that up as well. So payment rules are going to be the same thing. So you're going to have the same 3 conditions here. So you could either hide a payment method, rename it, or rearrange it. So we can see here at checkout, we have credit card and we have check. So let's say I just wanted to hide check. I could select this and then I could hide a payment method that equals check. And then if I were to save this and come back and then go to the cart, we can now see that the check payment method is now gone. And then lastly, we have the validations. So this is going to be different than the delivery and payment rules. So this is going to allow you to set up specific conditions that have to be met to allow for checkout. So a common one would be a minimum order. So we'll just name this minimum order. So we'll set up a minimum order, and then we can see here if we'll do the order total is less than 1,000. Then we're going to block the checkout, and then you can set the error message here. So in this case, I can say minimum order amount is 1,000. So this would mean that nobody in the store could check out unless the order total is greater than 1,000. You could also add additional conditions to this. So it could be if the order total is less than 1,000 and let's say the customer tag. So if the customer has a specific tag, then they have to have a minimum order requirement. So let's say you have a specific subset of customer that you want to have a minimum requirement for. So this is common for like wholesale customers. Then you could add in your wholesale tag here, and then you could have both of these conditions showing up right here. But we'll just go with the basic minimum order for now, just to show you the example. So we have the $13 in the cart. So if I try to check out right here, we can see that it's showing the minimum order is 1,000. If I were to try to enter some dummy information here, we can see that I'll click pay, and then it's not going to actually allow us to check out because it says minimum order is 1,000 right here. So that's pretty much an overview of how you can use the checkout controller app to further customize your checkout. Now there's a lot of different advanced rules and customizations that you can actually create within the app. This is just a basic overview, but as you can see, if you dig really deep into the rule creation, you can add in multiple conditions. You can make it really complex. So it could be like add in customer tags. If a customer has a tag of wholesale, for example, then now if the customer has a wholesale tag and the order is less than 1,000, then checkout will be blocked. However, if the customer doesn't have this tag, then they will be able to check out. However, in this case, we'd have to change this from match any to match all. So instead of So you can see that changes here. So you can have it meet one condition or the other one, or you can have it meet one condition and the other one. So in this case, we'd go with and you can see that you can create multiple different layers on here as well. And this is an app that I actually own, so if there is any specific customized rule that you need help creating, go ahead and reach out to our app customer support or leave a comment down below, and we'll try and get the specific rule set up for you so that way you can customize the checkout to your liking. So with that said, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a thumbs up. Check out the checkout controller app by clicking the first link in the description if you want to fully customize your checkout, and I'll see you guys in another video.